school, they said. It'd be fun, they said. Yet here I am. Sad as
Hey today family, welcome back to my channel, All Things About. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day out there. You already know who I am. It's your boy Jabari Leonard, the creator of the All Things About channel. And in this topic today, we are going to discuss all things about college. Alright, so when it comes to college in general, I know there are a lot of people out there that are going to college. College is very different now, especially what we got going on in the world. People are doing more online learning. So it's going to be a little different than what people would normally expect when they're going to college. I know people have some fears. I know I had my fears when I was a freshman going in. So the purpose of this video is simply going to give you guys some advice. I'm trying to set you to some ease, okay? So that you don't have too many problems. And now since the world is kind of getting a little bit back to normal, I'm going to be doing based on from before the pandemic and before everything happened. So this is the advice that's going to be happening for that. It's not going to be advice for necessarily online because I'm still getting used to that. And I'm not an expert in that per se. So I'm just going to give my advice based on what's going on beforehand. So if you want to find out more about what college is going to be like for you and some advice and some tips that you need, stay tuned because we're going to get into it right now. So tip number one I have for you guys is have an idea of your major and make sure you do some research beforehand. So I know a lot of times in college they tell you, it's okay that you don't know what you want to do, which is totally true, but they do not tell you the full story of what happens when you're probably in an undecided major or probably in a major that you really don't want to be in. See, the thing is, what happens is if you're a college student and you're in a major that you really don't like, right? Let's say you complete the whole full year in that major. Guess what happens? If you want to change your major, which you totally can, you can change the major if you totally can. But what ends up happening after that is, guess what? Some of the credits that you took for that class, those classes, even though you passed them, they won't transfer over and roll over to your next year or into your next major. So what ends up happening is, even though you were a freshman last year, you'll still technically be a freshman because you're starting fresh. You're starting all over. So I say that have an idea of what major you want to do because it's going to save you more time. It's going to save you more time, and it's going to save you less stress when you have to start all over. Because like for me, for example, I was a mechanical engineer my whole freshman year, and when I finally realized it wasn't for me, I ended up going to psychology, and as a result, I ended up having to start all over. So all the freshman classes that I took before, I had to take it again because I'm technically a new student to this new department. So I say have an idea of your major, what you want to do, because it's going to help you out in deciding on what you're going to do in the long run, and also save you a lot more time and a lot more frustration, because we don't need that, all right? College is stressful as it is, but we don't need any of that, okay? Tip number two, get your schedule early. Okay, I can tell you all about this because a lot of people still don't know it. They're in college and they still don't get their schedule early. Guys, make sure you get your schedule early. I cannot stress this enough, because here's the thing about college that's different from high school and middle school. High school and middle school, they all decide a classes for you. Maybe you had a chance to choose your preference, but you don't always get what you wanted. In college, you can make your schedule. You can choose your days, you can choose your hours. It's literally perfect, but it cannot be perfect if you go last minute like me and you try to get into class, but guess what? Too many people's there for that class. Guess what? Closed out, and you have no other choice but to go to a class and to go into a professor that you really don't like and that you pretty much do not know. You have to go at a time you do not know and you do not like, which is overall stressful. So do not do that. Definitely make sure you get your schedule early. They say the early bird gets the worm. So make sure you find out what it is that you're going to be doing ahead of time and get there early, because when it starts closing up, it starts closing up.
And you're going to be stressed out when you have to be like me, Saturday in the morning at 8 o'clock, gotta go all the way to your school knowing you live an hour and 30 minutes. And guess what? You gotta be there for 6 hours because you had no other choice but to be in that class. So don't be me. Don't be me. Get there and get out.
Tip number 3 I have for you guys is called Rate My Professor. So this is a very underrated platform. It's basically, for those of you guys who do not know, and you most likely may not know, and even some college students do not know, but Rate My Professor is a very powerful website where basically every school in the U.S., I believe all in the U.S., as many schools in the U.S. and college, they have the professors from that specific college, and they also have student reviews based on that professor. So here's the thing about it. You want to use Rate My Professor at the same time you're doing your schedules, because guess what? You may have a whole bunch of different professors for a specific class, but if you choose a professor that you really don't know, and a lot of times colleges do not tell you about who the professors that you're going to be going in, Rate My Professor is the perfect platform to get ahead of the game and know who you're going to be dealing with. So the students will rate their professors based on the academics. Do they really know their stuff? Are they taught properly? Is the work hard? Is he rude? Is she rude? Do they make it on time? There's a whole bunch of reviews that happen.
And for the most part, if you see a lot of ones and a lot of bad comments, don't go to that professor. Don't do it.
If you see a lot of 5s and 4s and they're pretty good reviews, common sense will tell you you should go choose that professor. So definitely, for sure, make sure you go ahead of time or on the same time you're doing your schedules. Go to Rate My Professor. Okay, go to Rate My Professor. It's going to save you a lot more trouble and hard times. Yeah, but if also as well, there may be some situations where there may be new teachers and they may not be registered, or there may be some professors that may not be registered. If that's the case, you're gonna have to stick it out because you're gonna get bad professors regardless one time in your college career. So don't be upset about that. You just gotta stick it through and push through. But for the most part, go to Rate My Professor ahead of time. It's really gonna help you out.
And also, for my college students out there, make sure you go to Rate My Professor. Help these freshmen out. They need help. Help them, alright? We need to do our job too, to help them so that they don't be like us, alright?
Number 4 is know your roommate. So this is going to be based on students who are going away to college, not necessarily being maybe in their community or going to school in the city. These are for students who are going away to college. This is for you. If you have a chance, if your school has the opportunity where they have a community base for freshmen or incoming students so that you can get to know them and possibly choose your roommate, take advantage of that, because most times in college, you're going to be paired up with a student that you do not know and you may not like. And when that happens, it's going to be pretty hard moving out or just living with them. So if you have a chance to vibe out with someone and get to know them and be on good term basis, try your best to find out who they are. You're not always going to get lucky like me. I had a pretty good roommate. I'm still good friends with him to this day. But I know some of my friends where they had some beef and it wasn't too good, where they stank or they just low maintenance, blood on the table. I know that feeling, not with my roommate, but with other people. So definitely, yeah, there's some experiences in college that you just don't want to have. So if you have an opportunity to do that, go ahead and do that. But it's not always a foolproof strategy, so also keep that in mind. Tip number 5 I have for you guys is food. Okay, so this is also going to go for my students that are going away to college, but this also apply to people that's maybe, in the community, going to school in the city. Definitely, you do not want to be a broke college student and not have any food in your room. Okay, so you don't
want to be like me when you try to go and get a Pop-Tart from the vending machine and you can't even get it because you don't even have $2.75 to your name. Okay, they didn't send you, if your family didn't send you a care package, you're just broke and hungry.
Make sure you manage your food properly. Get the right snacks that you need, the Pop-Tarts, the Hot Pockets, whatever. Maybe cook some food. There should be kitchens in college dorms as well that you can use. Go ahead and do it. Do it. Be smart about it. Don't be like me. Don't be like me, okay? And don't go to lunch early or dinner early, because you only have limited meal swipes when you're in college. And if you go to dinner at 4:30, as soon as you get off school, guess what? you're gonna be waiting that whole time because you only have a limit of how many meal swipes you could spend a week or a day. And that's gonna be really, really hard for you. Do not do that, okay? Also as well, do not buy water bottles, too many water bottles. I say that because you wanna make sure that you're not drinking too much plastic water bottles in general because of waste or pollution. But also, it saves you a lot more money. So having a water filter, I'm not gonna say what water filters to get because there's a whole bunch of them, but get a water filter because it's gonna give you clean water and it's also going to save up on a lot more money. You know, change the filter every 3 months depending on what you get and you're good. You're good to go. So don't worry too much about paying too much water bottles and do not drink from the tap waters anywhere you go. They're just not clean. There's a lot of lead. Don't do that. Get a water filter. It'll make your life so much easier, okay? Tip number 6 I have for you guys, and this is kind of a no-brainer, but get to class. I know it seems obvious to just say go to class, but let me tell you, when you're in college, it's not that easy for a lot of students to just say, hey, go to class. Because a lot of them really don't do it, and you may be one of those people eventually that may get to the point where you don't even want to go to class. Listen, go to class. Get to class, and when you're in class, make sure you pay attention. I say that because there's going to be some information that you're going to miss that you really, really need. So don't miss a class because you may start in chapter 1 one day and then you may end up in chapter 5. Like, whoa, I've just been gone for a day. How did we get here? Well, if you was in class, you would know. So don't be that type of person where you just miss out because you will get really, really behind. And don't be one of those students as well pulling up to the teacher talking about, why I get an F? Well, you wasn't in class, okay? So make sure you go to class because teachers look for participation, attendance. They really take really serious on that. I know some people aren't really good with that, but most of them will be very important on that, and they will advise that. So get to class, pay attention, and try your best, even if unfortunately the professor ain't that good. All right, just try your best. Number 7 is avoid distractions. So it's so easy in college. It's the same thing with attending class. It's so easy in college to just get distracted by maybe life. Maybe you have, some issues with yourself or family, work. I don't know. It all depends on you children. It all depends on what you go through. I say try to avoid your distractions if you know it, okay? If you know that going with your friends, hanging out with your friends is not going to get your work done, don't hang out with them. If you know playing video games is going to stop you from doing your work, don't play video games. It's simple as that. You don't want a situation where you're falling behind and you're messing yourself up because a couple of days of doing that same routine, you're going to build bad habits, and that's just not going to help you in the future. So try your best to avoid distractions. Tip number 8 I have for you guys is work smarter, not harder. Now, this is very similar to when people say hard work pays off, and it does. I'm not going to objectify to that because that is totally true. However, one thing that I've learned from my experience, if you work smarter, you get paid off the same amount of work that you probably would do if you did physical work. And I say that in the sense of, let's say you have to do an assignment, right? And your assignment is like 5 pages long, like an essay is 5 pages long. You would think that, oh, if I just write it all out in one day, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to do it X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to be good. That's going to burn out your body, and it's going to stress you out a lot more. So as a result, even though it may have been good, if you actually planned ahead of time, like I like to do, is if I know I'm gonna have an essay or an assignment due, I go to the library, I go to a place, and I write maybe a paragraph. I put a little work in ahead of time so that in the future, when it comes down to the deadline and I may have procrastinated or I have some distractions going on, if it's a 5-page essay and I already got 3 pages down, I only got 2 pages to worry about, and that makes it much better. And at the time, I didn't think too hard. I was just going with it, going with the flow, and as a result, I got a great grade. And I saved myself a lot more problems. Because a lot of times you'll hear in colleges, the students talk about the all-nighters. Don't listen to the all-nighters. I'm talking about the all-nighters that do nothing but do all-nighters. If they say college is nothing about all-nighters, don't listen to them because they're not very smart. They're not making smart decisions. All they're doing is probably procrastinating, wasting time, and that's something you don't want to do. You don't have to do that. I'm here to ease your pain. Don't get too conflicted with that, like every single assignment you have to stay up late. No, structure it, work smarter, not harder, because it's going to help you out in making sure that you get your assignments done effectively and ease your pain, ease your process. Okay, use this. There's a lot up here, so make sure you use it. Number 9 I have for you guys is do not always listen to your advisor. Okay, now I know it's going to be controversial again with this, but here's why I say do not always listen to your advisor, because the advisors only go based on a guideline of what they're required to do as an advisor, but they don't know exactly what to do for you, because there's a whole bunch of students that they're probably dealing with. Some of them are not even teachers, some of them are like people that work in the office, administration office, bursar. There's a whole bunch of different advisors in college. So a lot of them may not even been a college student, or they haven't been a college student in a long time. They're not gonna always have your best intentions at heart. So as a result, they're not always going to be there for you. So you wanna make sure that you try your best and make sure you structure your schedule. Make sure you make decisions for yourself, because in college, it's gonna teach you how to be more independent and not rely too much on another person.
You don't want to be like me, okay? When I listened to my advisor freshman year, I was in the math class. I knew I was going to fail. I knew I was going to do bad. And I wanted to drop out, and I went to her. But you know what she said to me?
You should stay in the class to get some experience, you know? It'll help you out in the future.
Guess what grade I got at the end of that semester? Huh? Guess what grade I got? Guarantee you wasn't an A. I went out of the class, I went out of the exam, and this is what I said.
Well, I failed.
Yeah, I said that. I definitely did say that, and I'm so mad because I could have avoided that, and that really honestly brought down my whole GPA, a lot of things that happened. That was like the first start to a lot of bad things kind of happening. So don't be a freshman. I know it's very easy to just fall into that trap and be like, oh, I gotta listen to my advisor because they know so much. Let me tell you this, they don't always know as much as you know yourself. Trust yourself, believe in yourself, know what's good for you, and you'll have a much easier experience, okay? Tip number 10, the final tip I have for you guys is to be open to change, okay? So when you're in college, there's gonna be a lot of different things you have to learn at a faster pace and also in a short amount of time. So it's very important that you don't stay closed-minded. If you had a mindset of like a high schooler going into college, you're gonna probably fail. If you haven't really matured enough from high school, you're probably going to do bad in college as well. You are going into an environment and settings where you have higher expectations, and you should know what you should do. If you don't know what you should do, then you're going to probably have a hard time, okay? And also, don't be afraid of getting to know people. You want to build a community, because college isn't all about work. You want to have fun. You're going to need some friends, especially going away to school. You're going to need some friends. If you're in a town or in a state that you've never been in and you're not really used to the area, the people, you're going to need some friends. Friends are going to cheer you up. It's going to ease your pain. You hang out with them. You chill. You have a great time. So definitely, and don't say that you antisocial, because there's a whole bunch of antisocial clubs. There's a whole bunch of different clubs. Robotics club. There's fraternities, sororities. There's a whole bunch of different clubs. There's somebody for everybody in college. You'll never truly be alone. So definitely remember that in the future, because it's going to help you out in the long run. So don't get too caught up with that, okay? Have fun. Have fun. College isn't all about, work. It's about having fun. Have play. Learn how to balance it out. Don't be too hard on your work, and don't be too hard on your play, because you're gonna mess yourself up. You're gonna be like
Someone like a college student, out here partying almost every Friday with their friends and getting lit and doing a whole bunch of things you never did. You don't want to be like that, and then, semester ends and you get your report card and then they say, oh, we can't have you back in the school.
So you don't want to have that situation. So as a result of that, make sure you balance things out and you be open for change, because change is good. Change is good. Remember that. Well, guys, that's all I have for you guys. My 10 tips I have for you guys in your college experience. I know I didn't say a whole bunch, because there's a lot of things to learn in college that you just can't learn in just like 20 minutes. You really can't learn a whole bunch of things. I try to summarize it as much as I can, in a short period of time in a couple of different categories that I thought would be important for you guys. This is gonna be important for not only just freshmen, but also people that's maybe in college. You know, maybe you learned something new that you didn't learn before. All right. If you guys want me to do more of this and do a part 2 on how to dive deeper into it, I'm more than happy to do that for you guys. I love doing these type of things. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate this. If you like this video, make sure you give it a big fat thumbs up. It really helps me out, and become part of the family, the ATA family. You know, come in. Everyone's open. Come in. All right. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day out there. Stay blessed, stay safe, and I wish you the best of luck in your college education. You can do it. You can do it. Believe in yourself. What you mean I got a F? I didn't pay for this. Hi, Professor. Yeah, me. Are we gonna have homework after this? Because honestly, I don't think I can do it. So you want me to come to class at 8 o'clock in the morning when you gonna show up at 8:15? I might as well just walk out because we not gonna work.
Ooh, what we talked about? I want to know.
Oh. I'm doing my work.
Get connected for free with Education Connection. Get connected for free with Education Connection. Yeah.
Cut the damn camera.